Hey everyone, my name is April, aka Cosmic Homegirl, and I am doing a full moon in Aquarius special video for Nadiya Shah. So, thank you guys for watching and listening, and thank you so much to Nadiya and her team, Gilbert, and everyone for inviting me once again back on her channel to present some full moon guidance and full moon tea being spilled with you guys. I am an intuitive astrologer and I read tarot as well. And you guys can find me mostly on Instagram under Cosmic Homegirl. In my stories is where it really goes down. And also, you can find me on YouTube, Cosmic Homegirl on there. You can find me on TikTok. I post a little bit of content there sometimes under Cosmic Homegirl. And my website, especially if you are interested in a reading with me, is indigomoon.astrology.com. I'll have information on this video screen to where you guys can see where to find me. So let's dive into this full moon. What is it about? Well, of course, we have to explain for those who don't know, full moons involve both the sun and the moon. They're usually opposing each other, or they're always opposing each other, and they are in opposite signs. So this time it's a full moon in Aquarius, but there's still the Leo part of it on the solar end. So this is involving the Leo Aquarius axis, okay? Now, both of these signs are fixed signs, and they're both about individualism in their own ways. So Leo is about shining on your own as your own individual person, your own name in lights. The spotlight is only on you on the red carpet or whatever, and no one else. It's just you only represent yourself, no one else but yourself, your own name and everything. And then Aquarius is about shining out there into the world for the world in a way. And it's also about groups, belonging to a group, a community, a club, an organization, representing a group of a massive group of people, or even a small group, right? But just you represent them, and whatever they do, you guys move together. So if one person within that group does something unfavorable, the whole group can go down. So that's more so Aquarius. And Aquarius energy is weird. Let's just keep it all the way up real, okay? Aquarius energy is weird. And it's because that sign is ruled by two planets that represent totally different things. It's ruled by Saturn, which is, I call like crotchety old man energy, like old man Saturn who's grumpy and he wants things to be the same way they've always been. He's very stubborn, right? Saturn's energy is stubborn. It's very firm. And I feel like this is the energy that makes more of the fixed energy within Aquarius. And then there's the planet Uranus, the more modern day ruler of Aquarius, which is about rebellion and F the tradition. I'm going to go off on my own path and be myself no matter who, no matter what. So Aquarius has elements of both. And so it is about individualism, but like being your unique self because of the Uranian influence on it. And that's why we say Aquarius is weird, because it has that duality. It has some of both within it. I feel like the Saturn, it just makes it like set, that this is Aquarius energy. Once it believes something, it doesn't change its mind. It is also about shining on your own as a unique individual. The Aquarius archetype, it rules getting lots of tattoos and piercings and different hair colors and different haircuts, like anything that's outside the box, outside the norm, outside whatever society that you belong to. It's going against societal norms, sometimes on purpose, just to rebel, just to do it. But sometimes Aquarian energy, it really does have its own ideals, and therefore it's not just purposely saying, oh, I'm different and unique. It's just being yourself, no matter what your being yourself means or looks like or sounds like or whatever. Aquarius energy encourages us to be authentic. It's about authenticity. And Aquarius is one of the energies that rules astrology. And I love astrology so much because for that Aquarian-esque element that it brings to it. So me personally, in my chart, I have the South Node in Aquarius. So some Aquarius things kind of agitate me because it's like been there, done that. But I also understand a lot of Aquarius themes and ideals and things like that. And also, I have Uranus in the first house, and I have planets in my 11th house. So I get some of the Aquarius stuff. And what that energy also makes me really love astrology for showing us our blueprint. Our natal chart is our blueprint. It shows us who we really are and how we're set up to like and dislike and dress and look and act and enjoy and not enjoy, and even our life paths and events that happen to us and at what time do they happen. All of that, our blueprint is our natal chart. And, I've been having some conversations leading up to this full moon with friends who are a little bit more rigid with things and their ideals and their opinions and how they think that we should be, how we should be. It's friends that don't really know astrology like how we do, right? How we know it here. They don't really know about it. So I couldn't really explain things in our language to say, listen, I am who I am. I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to date who I want to date or not date who I'm not interested in. I'm going to dress how I dress. I'm going to just do what I do because I'm me. I understand myself thoroughly because of my natal chart. I understand certain behaviors and patterns, and it's not like whatever is written in our chart we can't ever work on ourselves. We can't ever improve ourselves. We don't ever evolve or anything. Yes, hell yeah, we do. However, like I said, it's our blueprint. You know what I mean? There's just some things that we can't really help about ourselves. We can't go back in time to the moment we were born, or so, and like rearrange the sky and make the planets different or the placements of them different from how they are, how we already are. What makes us is our natal chart. So that's one thing I love so much about astrology. And I really want to just give rebuttals a lot of times to people around me who they don't understand why I do things a certain way, or why I choose not to go down certain paths, or why I attract certain things in certain people. I'm attracted to certain things in certain people, even though they feel like I should be doing something else. You know what I mean? And also, with me having Uranus in the first house, and then I have a seventh house stellium, people's first impression of me and how they perceive me is going to be totally different from the truth most of the time. It's going to be totally different from who I really am. And what people see is not always what they perceive is not what they're going to get once they really start getting to know me and asking me questions as an individual, as a unique individual. And I'm trying to come to terms with that and really learn, really accept that about myself, that I'm just going to be me and do me. And as long as I'm not being destructive or rude or doing anything negative to society to really like tear it down or anything like that, I feel like no one should be bothered. Leading up to this full moon, having conversations with my friends that do understand astrology and that this is our blueprint, is our natal chart. I've been telling them, listen, society is not in your household every day doing chores, advising you, helping you out, paying your bills, doing what you do for you in your life. What is society? Or if you do belong to some sort of group or community, are they paying your bills? Are they really doing things in your every single day, every life? Are they next to you doing you, or are you doing you? And that's no disrespect to anyone who really relates to belonging to communities and groups and identifies and labels themselves and they're proud about it. That's cool. That's fine. But not everybody's like that, first of all, and not everyone has to. Some people, they march to the beat of their own drum. So a friend of mine I had who's an Aquarius, but they're more on the Saturnian side of Aquarius, where the Saturnian side does like to categorize and label in a way and give like this Starbucks order of labels and categories that define them. And as an astrologer, I get it because that's what I do as a Uranian person. I'm a Pisces moon, Scorpio rising, Taurus sun, and the rest of my chart, okay? That's like my little Starbucks order of this is how you define me. If you're going to define me in any type of way, categorize or whatever, this is what I'd prefer you identify me as, being associated with these signs because they make me who I am. So I get it in a way, but this friend that I had a conversation with, this Aquarian friend, was mentioning how they feel like the youth of today are kind of lost. Like they don't know who or what, they don't know what they are. As much as I can have some opposing views on that, I really thought about it. I'm like, she's right in a way. A lot of today's youth were born with Neptune and or Uranus in Aquarius, or either one of those or both of those planets in Pisces. And they are coming up in the Neptune in Pisces era. Aquarius and Pisces are very last on the zodiac wheel. And so they give less of a fuck about the original primal first sign, first house Aries energy of walking up to another human being and inspecting them their physically and asking them where are they from and defining them based on one or two things as a whole person. That's like more of our primal primitive nature as humans, but the last signs of the zodiac are very far removed from that. And so they don't really care about all the labels and definitions and where are you from and all that. They don't really care. It's just, can we all just get along and vibe? I'm just here vibing, especially Pisces, but Aquarius could be very much like that too. I'm just here vibing. I'm just doing me. And so I thought about it, and there's other eras and generations before us that had their youth that had certain terms that they went by or that they were labeled by society based on how they look, how they dress, what music they listened to, who their heroes were, how they danced, and everything that they were into, right? You could label them. But a lot of today's youth, what's their label? How do you distinguish them? What's their little group thing? And maybe I might be personally out of the loop. Okay, maybe I might be, but I have yet to really hear of anything that's distinctive like that of today's youth. Why? And if that's true, if it is true, if I'm correct about that, and so is my friend, it's due to the last signs of the zodiac, Aquarius and Pisces. They're coming up in a time to where that's not even necessary. Not too many people care too much about that stuff anymore. It's more about just getting along with one another and protecting one another by looking out for each other, defending each other, making sure that no one's feelings get hurt, especially under the Pisces energy, and being big advocates for certain things. They're still about that, but it's not like previous generations where we had the outer planets in signs that were further back on the zodiac wheel that cared more about the whole labeling thing and stuff. And I thought about it, and I'm thinking, well, I'm kind of like that as a Pisces and a Uranian person too. I don't really like labels and definitions attached to me, except once again, if they're based on my chart, which is my blueprint, who I really truly am. Because I don't really do things that a group of people do and follow behind them and then say, well, I'm with them, so therefore we do, this is how we do. Only with astrology really is what I do that with. But a lot of people, they feel uncomfortable with that Aquarian type of theme. They don't know how to label you, or so it makes them like, what? They're all the circuits in their brain, they short circuit, and they're like, I don't know what you are. So they freak out, and they want so badly to compartmentalize you and place you in boxes and give you names so they can understand you. And it made me really think about that conversation that I had with a friend. And it made me really think about how there's nothing wrong with that, especially leading up to this full moon in Aquarius. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with individualism and just kind of floating over here, and you're cool with these people, but you're also a part of this, and you're also part of that, and you're into this, but you're also into that. There's nothing wrong with that. At least to this Aquarian Uranian person, there's nothing wrong with it. Am I a bad person because I have an eclectic sense of taste in music and men? Okay, I don't really have a strict specific type, you know, and also with styles that I wear, anything that I decide to wear. Oh, so you're a blah blah blah. No, I'm me, and this just resonates with me. I'm gonna rock this style because it looks good on me. There's nothing wrong with that if it's something you feel is true to you. Another interesting thing about Aquarius energy is it wants to bring us all together and make us all the same, have the same rights, and nobody is treated too special, more special than another person, to make anyone feel left out. Aquarius protects the underdogs and makes sure everybody is good, right? And Aquarius energy is great for that. But as much as Aquarius energy brings us together, it can be very separating at the same time. And see, this is why people label Aquarius as weird, because of this duality. And I say that because Aquarius rules technology, right? It rules technology in general, but it also rules social media. And social media is awesome because nowadays you can talk to your friends from anywhere at any time. And you could just use a couple of buttons that you need to push, when long ago you had to write letters and it would take weeks or months or a really long time for your messages to get to your friends in other parts of the world. And nowadays it's totally awesome. It's like the Jetsons or Back to the Future, where that's real now, where you can video chat with a friend and there's in a totally different country, but you could still see each other and talk, and it's amazing. However, it is kind of like the movie Wall-E, where we could become a lot more disconnected from our real true connection, heart to heart, with human beings. And I say heart to heart because this is a full moon which involves Leo energy too. And Leo rules the heart. And when Leo energy really loves big hugs. And if you're a Leo sun sign and you're not affectionate, blah, 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 whatever, there's something else in your chart that doesn't like hugs and affection, okay? But the Leo archetype within itself, it rules the heart. All the Leos that I know that are not super Saturnian, that is, or have too much Virgo to where they're like, ick, don't touch me. Where have your hands been? Have you showered? The Leo energy itself loves hugs, heart to heart hugs, right? So, Aquarius on the other end, we're kind of distant, we're far away, we don't really get that close, but yet we can still talk and we can still be cool. We can follow each other on social media. There's likes and views and things like that that people take as forms of affection and connection now. And it is totally opposite from Leo, which is really being in person with someone and, you know, real heart to heart energy. Feeling you could, they say that you can feel someone's heart energy if you're within a certain radius of them. That means like they're emotional, like the heart tends to store emotional information and memories, according to some studies, right? And some say, yeah, your heart energy, you radiate. And if someone is in a certain measurement of vicinity of you, they can feel that from you. And that is beautiful. But then the Aquarius side is like, yeah, internet, phone, and, you know, distance, and it's still cool. We're still cool. I still like you or whatever. So we can kind of become a little bit disconnected under the Aquarius energy from our original human selves in many different ways. So I feel like that axis with the opposition, it does help us to try to find a middle ground with connection to others, what we deem as true connection. And even though like distance is cool, some people can feel very isolated and alone by not really having too much of the in-person human connection, you know? So finding a great middle ground with that is what this full moon could be about. Also finding a middle ground with being involved with other people that you share common interests and common causes and concerns and everything with, but still remain yourself and true to yourself. And don't worry yourself so much about catering to the masses or to groups or communities or whatever, to where you lose sight of yourself, or you lose connection to yourself. Or Leo rules self-esteem and being really in tune with yourself in a positive way, having confidence in yourself no matter what anybody says, does, or thinks, or anything. So trying not to get too caught up in what everybody else thinks you should be doing or looking like or whatever. Stay you, stay yourself, do you, pretty much. But at the same time, don't do you so much to where you forget about others and you stomp all over them. So there's this balance that we need to find under a full moon in Aquarius on that axis that helps us out with individualism as well as connection to other people. So we may see a lot of themes come up with that. Now, also with Aquarius energy, really heavy in the sky under the full moon, there's some things that have been building up over the last couple of weeks that have come up in the news that are associated with other transits as well. But hey, let's chat about them because they are associated with Aquarius. Like that announcement recently, the headline about aliens and the government vaguely state of the US, that is. I know that there's viewers like all around the world, and appreciate you guys. But I'm located in the US and I mostly pay attention to those headlines and have access to those. So, aliens, I guess apparently there have been some remains found of aliens, but it's like it was very vaguely put, and people are like, oh, they finally admitted aliens exist. People are making a huge deal about this alien thing, and Aquarius rules aliens and outer space and spacecraft and all of that. So, we've seen that. We've also seen the celebrities striking the actors and also some musicians. And that's because they are pissed that AI is starting to replace them as human beings. And AI is ruled by Aquarius. And I know Nadiya, she posted a really good video when the Apple, what's it called? That Apple visor thing? I can't remember the name of it right now. My bad. I'm having a Pisces moon space cadet moment. But that Apple Vision contraption thing, when Pluto dipped its toe into Aquarius a few months ago in 2023, they came out with that gadget, that device. And Nadiya did a really good video on that. So I want you guys to check that out if you haven't already. But it's like, wow, the technology of it all. It's great to have all this stuff and all this AI and everything to some degree, but it's going to replace humans. And that's something that the Leo energy dislikes a lot. Like, you're going to, I'm replaceable. Have you guys heard Beyonce, who's Mars and Leo? I'm irreplaceable. Have you heard that song? I'm sure that's her Leo side coming out. You must not know about me. I'm irreplaceable. So I'm sure the Leo side of the spectrum on this axis hates the AI thing. Hates that about Aquarius energy, that it wants to just to replace humans and wants humans to even be less human, from our original human form. So there's that's coming up. But also I feel like that's a mix of the Aquarius full moon, but also the Venus retrograde in Leo. And because Leo rules actors and performers and Hollywood in general, and then Venus rules knowing your worth and value, and also money, getting paid is Venus. So there's that Venus retrograde theme there in Leo, but Aquarius is part of the equation too, because the Leo people, the celebrities, they have a lot of beef with the AI and the technology of Aquarius. So I just found that to be interesting to mention. And then I've been noticing that there's been I pay attention to influencer news and tea being spilled, like all the influencers say, because influencers are ruled by Aquarius as well. And remember how I said Aquarius likes us all to be on the same level. Aquarius energy dislikes the Leo side of people being elevated, put on a pedestal, and being treated like royalty and like they're so special and everybody else is beneath them and a peasant compared to them, and they don't have access to the same things as the Leo energy people, right? So Aquarius hates that. So it likes us to be equals in a way. And influencers, they are ruled by Aquarius. A lot of them are from the Uranus and or Neptune in Aquarius generation, for one thing. And so now in this, we're moving even more into the age of Aquarius collectively, and Pluto going back in Aquarius and staying there for 20 years is really going to skyrocket us there, but we're still easing into it. So especially when there's any like outer planets that have a lengthy transit through Aquarius, it brings more and more Aquarius stuff into our societies and to our world here. So anyway, influencers are ruled by Aquarius. And I've noticed that now they can sell products to the masses better than commercials that we are used to. Like television commercials, they used to be put together by a studio. There's a lot of production involved, and there's actors that are hired and celebrity endorsements and stuff. People that are like up here above us selling us things. Now things are sold better by people who are on the same level as us or appear to be, right? Some of us know a little bit better to know that those people, not all of them are on the same level as us. They don't get paid the same as some of us do, right? So influencers can sell things, or they will hire paid actors to make an ad on social media that's influencer style, and use these little buzzwords like viral, trend, hack, TikTok. Everything is TikTok right now. Viral TikTok trend, viral TikTok hack, literally, and obsessed. All you have to do is put all of those buzzwords in a little video that doesn't even have to have a big production. It's some regular schmegular looking person or acting person, or maybe even some of them are regular like us, just in their room, picking up their phone and filming a little video that looks like, hey guys, it's me, your bestie. All that bestie stuff is Aquarius too. So that sells products to the masses now better than the Leo big production and unreachable celebrities. And now have you noticed it's a lot of celebrities, because of the social media age that we're in, that was ushered in once again by Uranus being in Aquarius, Neptune being in Aquarius in the 2000s. That brought celebrities down to a level to where they are more equal to us regular people. Now we're all on the same apps talking to each other. It used to be you didn't know shit about a celebrity's life unless it came out in a publication like a tabloid, or unless they did an interview or something like that. Other than that, you didn't really know much about them, or tell all books, right? Now celebrities tell all every day on social media themselves, right? And they go live and you see them with they just woke up, and some of them wear like bonnets or on their heads, their hair is all jacked up and everything, or they're in their PJs. And if it's a feminine being, oh, no makeup, just looking like whatever, and just talking to you like you're their bestie, Aquarius stuff. So now we have more access to them. Now they're coming down here with us regular people. Now celebrities and regular people, anybody could make a podcast now, right? Anybody could buy a mic and do a podcast. And anybody can get on social media and go live. So they're doing all the same stuff that we're doing. And the Aquarian age is going to further bring them down to our level. And the AI thing, unfortunately, is going to take over a lot of our jobs as regular people that a lot of us have, as well as the celebs. So Aquarius energy it continues to put us all in a place of, hey, I thought so-and-so was so special and different from me and so unreachable, and they're really not. They're just like us. They're just like me and you. So that's what Aquarius energy likes to do, whereas Leo, it likes to put on a pedestal and be celebrated, which is celeb, right, is Leo. So also, Queen of Wands, Miss Queen of Wands, if you guys could see her. Sorry, I have a ring light on. I have Leo placements myself, so Miss Queen of Wands, she might be a little too bright, but check it out. This is Leo energy too all day, Miss Queen of Wands. And she really puts her foot down about what she wants, what she doesn't want, what she deserves, and what she doesn't deserve. And the star card is Aquarius. I don't have her up here. I'm really trying to be in this right now. But anyway, so those are the tarot cards that represent those two energies. And as much as the star card, the Aquarius card, it is like there's stars in it and everything, and it is about being a special, unique individual. The figure on the traditional Rider Waite card is naked, and it's that figure is just their true selves, totally naked. I'm just truly me. And even though there's stars in the card and everything, I'm just me, just doing me. I don't care if anybody has a problem with me being butt ass naked or what. I'm just, I'm here. So anyway, that's my points I wanted to make and conversation I wanted to have about the Aquarius and the Leo archetypes and energies and what we're seeing in our worlds. But basically, on a collective level, just the two energies opposing each other. And full moons always want us to find a middle ground, right? So it's about individualism, remaining true to yourself no matter what, without stepping on any toes and making and offending a bunch of people too terribly or anything. Find your way to just be yourself. And once again, I love astrology so much. Our chart is our blueprint, you guys. It really is. It tells so much about us. And like I said, it's not like we can't ever evolve and improve, and we don't have to just stay in negative traits that our chart may show that those are written. We don't have to stay within those, but there's just some things about us that we can't really change, and we shouldn't have to change. Just, it doesn't matter who we're amongst. If there's really like core things about you, likes and dislikes and whatever else makes you you, just accept them. That's just you. Okay? So do you, boo boo, is a theme of the Aquarius full moon. And thank you guys so much for listening. Now let's get into your horoscopes for each sign. Don't forget, the rising sign is going to be the most accurate interpretation of the full moon horoscope for you, but sun and moon can still apply. All right, Aries. So this is for Aries rising mostly. The full moon is in your 11th and 5th houses. What does that mean? The lunar part is in your 11th. The solar part is in your 5th in Leo. But also we have Venus retrograde in Leo in your 5th house too. All the stuff that I already mentioned about finding your tribe, finding yourself, in the intro, it all applies to you, Aries, personally in your personal life. I always compare the 11th, 5th house whenever there's something popping in both. And you have to make some sort of decision. You have to really decide between the two areas and which direction to go. The 11th house is like being in a group, right? Like say you're in a singing group like Destiny's Child. That's the 11th house. And then the 5th house is you get a chance to just be Beyonce on her own, doing her solo album. But what about Destiny's Child though? Are you gonna still continue to rock with them and make albums? Or are you just gonna totally just be Beyonce on your own as a solo artist? Maybe not literally that for some people, but maybe there is something that's coming to light to where you represent or you roll with a group or a community or something, and you find that you as an individual will be better off just doing your own thing, whether that's in business, in friendship, or what have you. Or you just figure that they don't really represent you properly for the type of reputation that you're trying to have, and something along those lines could be going on. Now, the 5th house is also dating and romance, and the 11th house is friendship. So maybe some of you Aries people could be making a decision revolving around, well, should I keep so-and-so that I have romantic feelings for as just a friend? Or should we, do this thing and hook up? But I will warn you once again, Venus retrograde is there with the sun in your 5th house. So This may not be a time to try anything or anyone that's new. If you do try people out, maybe just keep in mind that this whole relationship thing or whatever your romantic little rendezvous, it may not last that long, but you may discover more of who and what makes you happy, who and what makes you yourself. If you like to associate yourself attached to other people, like a community or whatever, who are you and who are they? You could be asking a lot of those questions at this time of this full moon. Keep in mind that it is squaring Jupiter. So if you have some sort of opportunity that comes up for you to shine, for you to be in the spotlight, for you to go viral, for you to be seen and known, and there's payment involved, just look before you leap. Of course, make sure that you have everything clearly in front of you of what exactly is going on. But I would say to still be careful under this full moon energy if you have anything that's an opportunity that comes up and it's mixing business with pleasure, business with love, business with friendship, friendship with business, or friendship with love. All of those could be a little shaky, but they may be just really coming to the forefront of your life at this time. All right, so next up is Taurus, my fellow bulls. I'm a Taurus sun, Taurus stellium actually. This full moon is happening between your 10th and 4th houses. Ooh, the backbone of our lives, Taurus. I always tell you guys, the axis of the 10th, the 4th, the 1st, the 7th, that is the cross that holds your life together in astrology. So when there's anything popping on either one of those axes, it can really affect you deeply and make some major changes in your lives. And then we have Jupiter on you in your sign squaring the full moon. Once again, Jupiter rules opportunities, but they can be very fleeting opportunities. So they could be all talk. So a lot of Tauruses, there could be something really popping in your career sector right now. Maybe there's a lot of talks about something, but that's all that it is. I, as a Taurus, have definitely been experiencing that just really close to this full moon leading up to it. Opportunity, yay, and it's career, yay, but it's all talk. And I'm like, where's the follow-up? Where's the conclusion to it all? Maybe there might be a conclusion for some of us Tauruses with the full moon, because that's exactly what they can bring. They bring things to a head, finalization or whatever. So career, okay? Also, family is involved. The 4th house, the lower part of your chart, your personal life. That can mean just your personal life in general. Family doesn't always have to mean that you're married and you have a bunch of kids or anything like that either. Or it doesn't even always have to mean blood relatives. Family can mean your pets or your plants, so your household. There's something that's going on that's affecting both your public life and persona and your personal life and persona, your career and your personal private life and your family. This is also making a square to Jupiter, which Jupiter rules relocation and travel. So maybe there's some kind of opportunity involving work that allows you to relocate and travel, but it's going to affect your family. Maybe your family might miss you and say, no, don't leave. We all stick together. We try to live in the same area, or we've always lived here and now you're going to move on us. Like, what's up with that, Taurus? Or if you do have your own family in your own household, especially if you have children, maybe there's a career opportunity with relocation and it really affects them in some sort of way, good or bad. Maybe they could be excited, or maybe they could be like like they don't want to leave, they don't want to move. Maybe it's you that you're hanging on to a place that you've lived and you don't want to change it, but there's such a great career opportunity. Maybe it is about figuring out the balance between work and personal life, work and family life. Maybe your family is calling for you to spend more time with them. Venus is retrograde down there where the sun is at in Leo, telling you to reevaluate your relationships. And this is in the sector of family. So who you call family, who you count as family, how you interact with them, how often you do, all of that can come up and in some way be presented to you with maybe an ultimatum or maybe a lot of emotions or something. So it could be some of you decide to change jobs, some of you decide to change your career path. Some of you, those things decide to change for you. Like there's outside circumstances. You've been at a company a long time, and maybe, maybe they let you go or something. You guys know I tell both sides, okay, good and the bad possibilities. Or maybe even working entirely too much, Taurus, up there in that 10th house, and then the opposite in the fourth, your personal life, personal time, and then the aspect to Jupiter, although a square, it's still hanging out in your sign telling you take a vacation or something. So Gemini, especially if you're a Gemini rising, this full moon is happening on the axis of your third and ninth houses, with the lunar part in your ninth and the solar part in your third house of Leo, along with Venus retrograde. Full moon is also making a square to Jupiter in your 12th house. All of these houses equate to mental activity, a lot of mental learning, spiritual stuff. So maybe some of you guys are really starting to embrace spirituality with Jupiter in the 12th, especially. But maybe your mind under this full moon is being encouraged to open up even more and learn about something spiritual. Or it could be training for the sake of a job. I mentioned that because we also have Saturn up there in your 10th house. It's retrograde. Some of you Geminis, especially rising, maybe have recently come across an opportunity to level up and boss up with career. But now, because Saturn's up there, now he's retrograde though. And now there's a full moon that's popping in your ninth house telling you, hey, you may need some extra training. You may need to gain some more skills in order to really, really step into this title or this role that Saturn is giving you in your career house. Or maybe for you guys, this can also be about traveling, because Jupiter in the 12th right now is traveling abroad, like far, far away. If you guys remember Forrest Gump, when Jenny was like, dear God, make me a bed. I don't know why she had that weird accent. Poor little girl. Make me a bed so I can fly far, far away. Yeah, maybe you guys are going somewhere far, far away with Jupiter in the 12th. And also full moon on your third and ninth house axis. That is travel too. So that can mean maybe it is a decision between long distance travel and a short trip. Or your ability to travel could be on the line right now. Jupiter in Taurus, I think I've already mentioned this, but because I'm re-recording some of this, I had some technical difficulties. Jupiter in Taurus, slow ass Taurus, and Jupiter rules passports. Maybe some of you guys have had issues and delays with your passport that have prevented you from traveling abroad or really traveling a long distance. Something to do with maybe your vehicles and being able to travel locally around or go on road trips. And maybe there's something you have to fix there, or any other documentation that allows you to move around and not just be stuck at home, in your neighborhood, in your city, or whatever, and just get out and explore and learn, be more cultured. Those are all things that this full moon could be bringing to light for you guys. So for Cancers, especially Cancer rising, the full moon in Aquarius is happening on the axis of your 8th and 2nd houses. Ooh, okay, what does this mean for you? This is your financial axis. There could be some things that are coming up to do with your finances, Cancer, especially because where the sun is at in Leo, you also have Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde in general is about re-evaluating yourself, your value, right? And that could be your value as an employee. So you guys have that popping in your 2nd house of earned income, along with the sun part of the full moon. So maybe some of you guys have been at a job for a while and it's just not cutting it anymore with the pay. Maybe you have like a lot of life changes happening, especially because your 4th house is Libra and there's eclipses happening in there now coming up. And also there's the South Node is in there clearing out some stuff. So maybe some of you guys have some major life changes that are happening for you in your personal life, to where a job that you're working at, you're finding it's just not cutting it anymore with the pay, with that Venus retrograde there. And now the sun is in there illuminating all of that. Yeah, you're not getting paid your worth. you're not valued at this company, maybe it's time to make a change. And also, the lunar part is in your 8th house. The 8th house rules your credit. That can be credit cards, loans, just borrowing money from your friend around the corner or a family member, owing people money, debts. All of that is the 8th house. If you share income with a partner, a relationship partner, spouse, or even a roommate, that's all 8th house money. So also it's benefits that you receive, money from the government and taxes and things like that. So maybe some of you cancers are like, listen, I have a lot of debts, I have a lot of expenses. You could be rediscovering that, especially under Venus retrograde in your 2nd. I have some bills that are unpaid and I need to take care of them. And this job though, it's just not really paying me that well. And now there's a full moon in your 8th, which is like, oh my gosh, these debt collectors, or I borrowed money from my homie Debo and Debo is coming to collect, you know? They're all hitting you up like, hey Cancer, what's good? Where's the coins? Where's our money at? So then you're like, wow, I really need to get a new job, a different source of income, perhaps a second job, a side hustle, anything to get those bills paid is what's coming up for Cancer people. You guys could be really assessing wants versus needs so you can make sure that, like, when it comes to what you spend your money on in your budget, so that you can take care of any of the debts that you have, you know. And also a full moon on the 2nd and 8th axis, and it's in a square to Jupiter, which is in your 11th house. I would say to be careful and be cautious when it comes to money matters and the internet. Okay, and money matters and friendship. There could be a little bit of tension in either one of those areas. So next up is Leo, and happy birthday to any of my Leos during the season of your sun sign. All right, but this is especially for Leo risings. The full moon, girls and guys, it's happening in your sign. Okay, the solar part is in Leo, the lunar part is across the way in Aquarius. Across the way meaning directly across from you in your chart, the 7th house, other people, relationships, OMG. The tea, the drama, right? Leos love the drama. I have a friend who's a Leo moon, and we leave each other voice notes because she lives in another state now, and she loves when I'm like, girl, guess what? The drama. So I have a couple of Leo homegirls, especially a couple of Leo risings, that have been telling me what's been going on leading up to this full moon in Aquarius, because Venus is retrograde in you guys' sign, right? So that's already making you guys take a step back when it comes to your relationships. Who's valuing you? Who's giving you what you deserve? Key Leo phrase, deserve, I deserve. Who's giving that to you? Who isn't? And they've been telling me that yes, the exes have been coming back in different ways. One is like, yo, he's just been lurking on my stories and not even talking. I don't know what's going on here under this retrograde. But then leading up to this full moon, she's like, you know what? I'm just going to block that fool, because why should he have access to me if he's not going to speak? It's that whole thing with like the Leo energy wants to connect heart to heart, like for real, for real. And then the Aquarius side is just, well, I can still see you and watch your stories and whatnot, but I don't have to really engage with you as a person on a real human level. Some people are okay with that, but some people are not, especially under Venus retrograde, and especially a Leo. Hello. Another homegirl told me her ex has been haunting her in her dreams. Actually, both of those told me, the Leo risings. In their dreams, their exes are popping up under this Venus retrograde. So they're like, you know what? I need to do something. Either they have to block them, block the exes, or if the exes are not really trying to get in contact with them in the 3D, they are working with themselves to further just release themselves of that person's energy, of that relationship, of the past. Because I think I may have mentioned this with another sign. Let's be real, situationships are very common these days. Everything 7th house isn't always about marriage or a committed relationship. There's homie, lover, friendship. There's situationship. There's some in between stuff there that isn't always labeled. Hello, Aquarius energy. Not always labeled, right? You guys have Aquarius in your seventh house, so you know what I'm talking about. We can even count those as under a Venus retrograde, under a full moon in your seventh house, you saying no more in some form or fashion to your dealings with that person in the 3D or the 5D. So I had one Leo rising friend tell me leading up to this full moon, she's like, I'm getting rid of this guy's belongings that I have, and I'm erasing photos and things like that to just really keep pushing forward in a direction of individualism and focusing on the self and healing and self-love and all of that good Leo stuff because of the Venus part of, you know, the equation and what's going on right now. But yeah, the full moon can lead you to ultimatums, to just feelings in general of I can't take this shit anymore. Whether you're dealing with someone directly or indirectly, okay? And if you are in a solid partnership, then this full moon, maybe it is just having both of you figure out how to better that partnership. It's not always necessarily a breakup, a divorce, a separation, although there is a lot of that going on at this time. But it's not always that. Sometimes a full moon can lead to something that you decide to do to better a situation, not just say, deuces, I'm out with an attitude. No, maybe it's like, hey, I like it here, but I would like for it to be better. What can we do to make that happen? So this could be with, of course, romantic relationships. This could be also maybe business partnerships or just any type of relation that you have with other people, working out some sort of imbalance. Now, for some of you, maybe there can be a major decision that's made on a positive note, which is like, okay, we've been dealing with each other for a while, and I think it's about time that we took things to the next level, la la la, blah, blah, blah. And it's on a serious note. Is it the best idea to do that during a Venus retrograde in your sign? Probably not. But the idea may come up under this full moon. There could be conversations under this full moon, but executing action when it comes to relationships, probably not the best when it comes to starting something new. Now, reviving something old from the past, you know, if an ex pops up under this full moon and Venus retro, as long as both parties have recognized negative patterns and behaviors on both sides, on either side, that need to be called out, that need to be addressed, that need to be changed, and are actively working towards changing them, then yeah, reconciliations can happen under this full moon and they can be joyous and lovely. But just know that this full moon is really highlighting relationships in an intense way, along with Venus retrograde right on you, Leo. And this full moon is squaring Jupiter, which is in your it's in your 10th house. So there could be something to do with partnerships and business partnerships, even to where there's an imbalance and there needs to be something worked out. But the square to Jupiter in your 10th house tells me that maybe there could be something to do with contracts within your career, because contracts is also 7th house, that there's something that's being illuminated for you that you need to really take a look at before you make a final decision. Virgos, my Virgos, especially my Virgo risings. This full moon is happening in between your 6th and your 12th houses. The 6th house is a Virgo house. Virgo, you're the 6th sign on the zodiac wheel, right? So anytime your 6th house is popping with energy, you are in your element. There's something Virgo-esque going on in your life. There's some Virgo-esque changes or highlights happening, right? So what does Virgo rule? What does the 6th house rule? You guys rule work, daily routine, schedule, your diet, how you're taking care of your physical body mostly, the regimens that you have to do so. Now, the 6th house is related to Virgo, which, yeah, like I said, it's work. So there could be something that's coming to a head or a final decision that has to do with your job. Jobs and work are very important to Virgo energy, just in general as an archetype. And I know a lot of Virgos personally. You guys are the worker bees of the zodiac. This could be a very important full moon for you. Maybe you guys are also deciding something with a job, with leaving a job, or maybe a job decides to cut its ties with you. That could be possible as well, especially with Venus retrograde in your 12th house, which can rule losses. And Venus is a ruler of your second house of earned income. So some of you guys, yeah, maybe you're cutting ties with a job, but maybe if so, maybe it's for good, because maybe you're sacrificing something like that for the sake of your health and well-being, because I say the sixth house is mind, body, and soul axis. The 12th house is where you find yourself taking care of your spirit, your soul, and your mental health and your emotional health. And then the sixth house is all the physical world stuff. Both have to be balanced in order for you to just be zen and healthy on all levels as a human being. So there's something that you have to do to balance yourself out, first of all. Second of all, yes, those that work, it can involve work. Maybe your job is way too stressful, Virgo, and it makes your anxiety go through the roof. Virgos already are naturally prone to anxiety. So maybe a job is just like you've been tolerating it for a long time, because unfortunately, Virgos, I know I'm a sixth houser, so I get it. Virgos can tolerate some bullshit for a long time because they feel like they're of being of service still, or they're doing their duty or something. Because of their sense of duty, Virgos may stay in situations that are like that don't feel good to them for a long time. They'll troop it out. Maybe you've been trooping it out for too long with a job or some situation in your life that maybe isn't a job, but it just doesn't, it makes you feel icky. Then your health is thrown off, your physical health, and then your mental health is crazy, like thrown off, and then so your physical health suffers too. They go hand in hand. So maybe there's just something that you're changing to just feel better as a person, and to not be so high strung, or maybe to learn to relax a little bit more. The 12th house, where the solar part of this is at, it is illuminating. Yeah, they could say your shadow side is illuminating, stuff like that, but it, like, if you are lacking in the area of self-care, meaning taking time out to just relax and do nothing that has to do with a schedule or an agenda or any of that, you need that time in your life too, Virgo, as much as you need the other stuff. The sun is illuminating that. Venus retrograde there is bringing it to your attention. What do you need to be able to relax, to be able to feel good, to be mentally sound, emotionally sound? Do you need to change your schedule? Do you need to change your diet, your exercise habits? Do you need to adopt some different ones? Venus retrograde can make you try out different things that not all of them will stick or last, but finding peace though is very important to you Virgos under this full moon. So for Libra, especially if you're a Libra rising, this full moon in Aquarius is happening in your 5th and 11th houses. So just like your Aries friends on the zodiac wheel, you guys are making some kind of decision that has to do with a choice between individualism and either a group or community, or you could also be dealing with your sense of belonging amongst other people. Who are your tribe, your fellow aliens? Who do you belong with? If you do want to label yourself in some sort of way, what do you label yourself as being a part of? Like, what other fellow beings do you really relate to on some level, for that you guys come to some sort of common ground, you have a common interest or whatever? Who is that for you? A full moon in Aquarius can definitely bring that to light. Now, this full moon, the lunar part of it is in your 5th house, which is dating, romance, but also you as an individual being in the spotlight, walking the little red carpet, seeing your name in lights, okay? So maybe you guys are getting an opportunity. A lot of Libras are very creative. They're artists. They don't mind being seen and being socialized. So those of you Libras that are trying to be seen and known, especially online, this full moon can maybe illuminate something for you, bring something to your attention that is like an idea that can shoot you into the spotlight further. Maybe some of you guys are coming up with some ideas for projects that you want to release, something like that. But I will say, because Venus is retrograde in the same spot that Leo is, which is your 11th house of putting things out there to the public, putting yourself out there to the public, maybe there's something that needs to be revamped a bunch of times, revised, and then put out there later if it's like something that you're working on. But I really feel like on a personal level, Libra, the lunar part is in your 5th house. That is having great self-esteem. It does have to do with valuing yourself, even though when we say the word value, we associate that more so with like earth sign energy, earth houses and signs, right? Knowing your worth and your value, yes. Having great self-esteem, a sense of like self-importance and all of that is 5th house. The solar part is in the 11th with Venus, your ruler, retrograde up there in the house of other people seeing you on a large scale, whether that's groups that are local or the internet, the whole world. So maybe you might be going within with your ruling planet being retrograde and thinking about how others see you and how others perceive you. And if you come off as being this way or that way, or maybe you don't feel confident enough or something somewhere, and that really shows, maybe you're really working on that. Libras can be very concerned about what other people think, and if you're a Libra sun and you don't care what other whatever, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about the energy of Libra on its own. Does care about other people's opinions and thoughts about them, does want to be well liked by others. So if you're not getting that type of attention that you want, or you feel like other people are not perceiving you in a positive light that you want to be perceived, maybe this is a time that you're going within and you're figuring out, well, what can I do to make it so that people really see me as me, the way that I want to be viewed and known. You understand, Libra? Because your 5th house is being activated and your ruling planet is retrograde in the spot that rules other people really seeing you. So there's something that you're working on in general with Venus retrograde, with yourself, with your image. But maybe for you, it can be associated around the arts or art projects, or maybe belonging to a corporation or something like that. So your sense of belonging, maybe there's something that is going on that makes you feel like you don't think you belong where you've been for a long time, which is 11th house stuff. Venus retro is like really bringing that to your attention. Do I really belong in this group of friends, or an affiliation with some sort of, I don't know, some group that has a name that you both do the same thing, okay? It could be so many things. But maybe you're like, I don't know if this fits my image anymore, me being associated with these people, these friends or whatever. And I really want myself as an individual to have a great name, to have a great reputation. What can I do to change that, first of all? Second of all, who I'm associating myself with, do they make a good impression on others as far as me sharing the same title or affiliation or group name or whatever as those people? So that's what this full moon can be doing for you guys. But also, Libra, some of you guys can be getting into a situation to where you're trying to make a decision about a romantic versus a friendship, partnership. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a little love affair between you and someone that you've met as a friend, or you guys are within the same group of something, right? Some sort. And now you're like, wow, we have romantic feelings for each other, but I don't know if we should go there because it could mess up whatever it is that we work on together, or the friendship. Or maybe it might be the opposite way, and it's not recommended to do new things in love under Venus retrograde. It's not recommended. However, if sparks are flying and you want to try a little something, and you know there's a chance that it could not stick, but you can't help it, there's an attraction there between yourself and someone that you have so many things in common with, maybe this full moon is really guiding you in whatever direction works best for you in love as well. Next sign is Scorpio, especially if you're a Scorpio rising like moi, like your girl here. This full moon is happening on your 4th and 10th house axes, just like Taurus. So this is another one of those axes that are the backbone of your life, okay? The backbone of your chart is the cross, the 10th and 4th, 1st and 7th. So this is part of that cross, Scorpio. This full moon could be you making some sort of important decision that has to do with your home, your family, that has to do with where you live, your career. Are you working from home? And does it work out for you? Or do you want to get back out there in the world? And if you do, how's it going to affect your home life, your pets being taken care of, your children, your family seeing you, and you know, having that work versus personal life balance. Maybe those are things that are coming up for you. Same as Taurus. Maybe there's some situation that involves relocation, perhaps. because there's a square to Jupiter. Jupiter is in your 7th house, which is contracts and agreements. So I feel like, because I'm a Scorpio rising as well, and just, judging by the feelings I've been getting intuitively under this full moon and experiences that I've been having and that could possibly happen. For example, I have opportunities being presented to me, possible contracts, right? That are like career based, which is 10th house, Leo. And yet, if I take them, I'm like, oh, snap, my kid is going to be starting school soon and his schedule is changing. And if I start a new job, how's this going to work? Should I look for something that's remote so I can work from home and really be there for him with his new schedule? Or should I just take whatever opportunity comes to me, even if I'm going to be away from home and not always be able to be present before and after school? So that's a big decision, because the 10th and 4th house axis also deals with being a parental figure and your own parental figures and your relationships with them. That's 4th and 10th as well. But if you are a parent, the 10th and 4th house axis most definitely affect your parenting. If you're a working parent, you're a career person and a parent, this type of full moon can definitely bring these type of issues up, these type of decisions up. So maybe for some of you, maybe there's a good career opportunity, but it involves relocating. Then it's like, ooh, once again, the 4th house, your family, what's that going to do for us as a family for me to take a relocation job opportunity? And also remember that Venus is retrograde up in your 10th house, where the solar part of this full moon is at. So it is not the best time, especially because Venus also rules contracts and agreements in herself, and she rules your 7th house. Maybe it's not really the best time to sign a contract, to really solidify something if it comes up. But this could be something that is life-changing. For example, maybe you and your family are kind of struggling right now. That's 4th house, you and your family. But then an opportunity comes up for you to take on this career, this title, this job, and it can change your family's life, because financially it could be really great. You're getting paid your worth. But because of Venus retrograde, I would say maybe if you can wait it out, or just know that there could be consequences, that something may not stick, or maybe it'll stick, but it has to be gone over and over again. Maybe your contract has to change a few times. Maybe an opportunity comes up and it's like too awesome to pass up and you really need it. But just know that it can change 1, 2, 3, 4 times. There could be revisions to whatever you're going to sign and agree to. Okay. So those are a few scenarios, life-changing events surrounding your home situation, your living situation, your family situation. They can definitely come up, and maybe your family needs you. They need your attention. And therefore you have to kind of say to the 10th house of career, listen, I need a little break. I need a little timeout. Maybe you're not really feeling that job anyway, right now. And you need a little break for your personal life to be taken care of, and some event happening there, some family situation or whatever. But the backbone of your life is definitely changing somehow, some way, Scorpio. So next up is Sagittarius, especially Sagittarius risings. This full moon in Aquarius is happening on the axis of your 3rd and 9th houses. So this is Sagittarian territory, okay, where the sun is at, the solar part of the full moon, it's in Leo, your 9th house. And then Venus is retrograde up there. And then the full moon is making a square to your ruler, which is Jupiter. Jupiter rules travel. Sagittarius rules travel. 9th house rules long distance travel as well. And the 3rd house rules short distance travel. So travel. There's something to do with your elements, Sagittarius, that is calling for change, is calling for attention, that may have a breaking point, and it may be frustrating. So maybe some of you guys are victims of the slow ass Jupiter and Taurus delays with your passport. Okay, maybe a lot of Sagittarius already have their passport. Some of you guys are born with passports, all right? But maybe it's like a renewal of one, or some other documentation that allows you to travel. Or maybe you have a really major trip plan and it's like, oh shit, now we got to make some adjustments to it. Venus is retro up there in your 9th house of travel. So maybe this full moon is bringing something to a head and a final decision in that realm. Okay. Yeah, maybe you guys are working on renewing a driver's license, or like I said, a passport or a visa or something, some document that allows you to be mobile. The lunar part of the full moon is in your third house. That's a breaking point, the lunar part there. So, some of you guys, maybe it's something to do with your vehicle. If you have a vehicle and you travel and stuff, drive around a lot, maybe this situation, this full moon, maybe calls for you to get a different vehicle. Maybe there's something that comes up, an issue with it that's brought to your attention. Ooh, last time there was a full moon in my third house. Ooh, listen, I'm not a party pooper or a Debbie Downer. I just tell the truth on both sides. But my car started leaking something. It was leaking oil, but it was something that needed attention for a minute. So maybe this full moon is bringing something like that up for you guys as well, Sagittarius. I hope not, but hey, this is real life. Okay, astrology shows real life. So also, Sagittarius, your ruler, Jupiter, in the ninth and the third houses all rule education. So just like your Gemini friends on the zodiac wheel, there could be some major things popping off with your education. Some of you guys may be graduating. Maybe there's a delay with graduation and you need to fix something, in order to make it happen on time or when you want it to or expect it to. Maybe some of you guys are making a decision to go back to school because Venus is retro in your ninth house. So that could be, you know what? I had this idea a long time ago to get this training or this education, and I'm bringing that back. It was an idea. I didn't do it. I didn't execute it. Well, now I'm seeing what's up with it. Maybe it is a good idea. Maybe I can start at the initiation of it right now. So maybe this full moon is also helping to show you, hey, that school idea, maybe it is a good idea. Maybe you should look into it. But just know, with Venus retro involved, kind of sort of with the full moon, because it's in the same sign as part of the full moon, maybe there's paperwork that has to be gone over and over and over again, reviewed, contracts over and over and over again before you're going to get it right. So that could be going on and dragging out through the end of the summer, to be honest with you. But the idea of it and really getting things in order, this could be a time to where with education, with travel, with learning new things, exploring. You could take a trip because Venus is retro in your ninth. Maybe there's something that comes up for you where you're like, you know what? I want to return back to such and such land, which such and such land can even be another city in your state, okay? Somewhere you want to, that you've been before, that you found very enjoyable. Maybe you want to go back there, and this full moon is like trying to help you make some sort of really cool travel opportunity to really like experience some great things happen for you. For Capricorns, especially if you're a Capricorn rising, this full moon in Aquarius is happening in your second and eighth houses. Ooh, alrighty then. What does this mean for you guys? This is the financial axis, just like Cancer's, your opposite sign. There could be something that you need to change with your finances, or something that changes for you with your finances, because lunar events and any type of planetary transits, you're not always in control, right? It's not always something that like, I'm going to make this happen. No, it could be this is happening outside of you and this transit is making it happen. Okay, you're helping it to happen, and it's like beyond your control. So for some of you guys, it can be a decision that comes up like, should I go back to work after I have been off for a while and receiving benefits or support from others? Or vice versa. I've been working for a long time. Maybe I should retire for those of that age group, or maybe I should take some time off of working and turn to more like investments that I have, stocks, savings, benefits, and stuff like that to support me for a little while so I can transition into some other type of, change in my life. Also, you could be looking at your budget. There could be some bills that pop up because Venus is retrograde in your eighth house of debts and owing people money. So maybe there's some bills that have popped up and you're like, shit, man, these were unexpected. I didn't expect these to come up, or maybe I forgot about this expense, or owing someone money or something a long time ago, and they pop up like Debo on Friday looking for their money and stuff. And maybe there's something like that that's going on that makes you say, you know what? I think I need a better financial situation, whether that's like I need to look for a new job or whatever it is. However you earn your money, you need to maybe check into something different, a different option, or maybe speaking to your employer about, hey, listen, I've got mad bills and expenses, and this job, this pay is not cutting it. This is Venus retro, by the way. Maybe there's something that is really being highlighted for you right time about your financial situation that's making you have to step it up one way or another, whether that's you telling your employer, listen, hey, today I got time, cuz like, what's up? Or it's something that you're in control of and you're like, okay, maybe I need to cut out maybe I need to go over my list of wants and needs and like separate them a little bit better, calculate them a little bit better, so I can afford to pay for this other thing, this other expense, this, that, and the third, or these bills that came up, whatever. Your credit and your finances and all of that, your credit, loans, credit cards, benefits, all of that is the eighth house. So there's definitely a major financial decision that you guys are making, and this full moon is making a square to Jupiter in your fifth house. Maybe there's something to do with your children that's involved with this financial decision. Maybe there's some expenses that they have that's coming up. I mean, school is starting right now. It's supplies, there's clothes and everything. How are you gonna help that out? And the eighth house can mean child support, okay, whether it's being received or paid out. So there's definitely those discussions with a Capricorn rising that's close to me. So maybe some of you Capricorns can feel me on that, on either side. But either way, the square to Jupiter is definitely telling you, look, make sure that you are not making any type of decisions that are too impulsive. You know what I'm saying? Too impulsive. You didn't think them over, and this is your finances. You're a Capricorn. Caps are usually very serious about their money. So I'm sure you guys won't have a problem with that. But maybe it's other people. You need to make sure if Jupiter is making a square to the full moon, that they're not just blowing out hot air and talking a bunch of bullshit when it comes to some sort of like grand opportunity for you to shine and make money at the same time. That's what I see for the full moon in Aquarius for Capricorns. Definitely a financial decision. It could involve jobs, could involve your children, could involve a romantic partner and dating. But making sure that money is right and straight is definitely going to be a focus with this full moon. Aquarius, this full moon is going to be in your sign. It's going to be in your sign, my friends. So your sign and your opposite sign. The lunar part is in your sign in Aquarius in your first house. The solar part is in Leo, which is your seventh house of other people. Venus is retrograde. Ooh, Venus is retrograde there also. So how does all this affect you, Aquarius? Well, just like your Leo friends, your opposite sign, there's some relationship stuff going on. For a lot of you guys, there's relationship stuff going on. So we have Venus. She's already been hanging out, retrograding, spinning, and doing her thing and causing some havoc, some drama. Some revelation, now wait a second now in my Cat Williams voice. Yes, Venus retro has been doing that for a lot of Aquarius risings, especially with her in your seventh house. So maybe some of you are really putting your foot down because the lunar part of the moon is on you. That's emotional. That's like emotions flooding you and saying, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I have to say something. I have to do something. Something's got to give and change. Maybe some of you are breaking free from a relationship, whether that's like I mentioned before with Leo, a situationship, which is very common these days, or whether that is a marriage or a committed relationship that's solid. Some of you guys can be leaving a situation, or maybe some people are leaving you to be solo. You know, maybe it was their decision to say deuces and you're like, okay, whatever, maybe I'm better off alone. You think you're better. I can't even sing right now. My voice is tired. But I'm sure a lot of you guys know the song, okay? Or Ariana Grande, I love Ari's music. She has a song called Better Off. I'm better off without him. I'm better off being a wild one. Maybe that's what some of you Aquariuses are singing too. I don't think this relationship is working out. It's not giving me gratification anymore emotionally because the lunar part of the moon is on, or the full moon is on you. It's squaring Jupiter, which is in your fourth house of your emotional self also. So it's challenging that. And Jupiter is joy. And in the fourth house is emotional joy. So it's a challenge to what's bringing you joy emotionally, literally by the astrological math. And then the solar part is in the house of others. Venus is retrograde, so you are definitely in retrospect about what you deserve in relationships with others. Maybe you feel like other people in general just haven't really been respecting you or treating you right, and you want to just take a look at, well, what can I do to change that? How can I assert myself a little bit better? You know, the moon is in your first, right? That's assertion, that's the self, okay? So, how can I really express this to other people that I feel like I should be treated a lot better, whatever your relationship is with them. So that could be family because there's a square to Jupiter in your fourth. That could be romantic, maybe some sort of work relationship, something like that, right? Just your dealings with others. You're really reevaluating them, what they bring to you, and also maybe what you bring to them, and how you can attract people who are better for you, or if you've been lacking in that area, or you've had people that they don't really do it for you with whatever your association is with them. How can you attract the people that you want to associate yourself with in any type of regard is definitely a part of this full moon. But also for some of you, it's like, look, if you're not getting what you want, which is seventh house Leo stuff, maybe you're better off being solo, and maybe you're better off just working on yourself. Okay, so either way, there's some relationship decisions. Of course, like I said, I don't recommend getting into new partnerships with people that are solid, but a full moon that involves your seventh house and Venus retrograde there, maybe some of you guys have had exes come back, just like Leos. And maybe they've shown you, though, like what you do and don't want with relationships with other people, what you do and don't deserve from other people. Relationships, Aquarius. That's what this full moon is all about for you. Lastly, but of course not least, my fishies, my Pisces, my fellow Pisces. I'm a lunar Piscean. So let's see what insights I can give to you guys from a personal perspective. This full moon in Aquarius is happening on our 6th and 12th axis, Pisces people. The lunar part is in the 12th. That's the Pisces realm. You know, we are the 12th sign. So the 12th house and Pisces rule the same things. But also, the solar part is in our 6th house, which is Virgo stuff, right? So once again, the daily routine, the schedule, the regimen, the routine with taking care of yourself, work that you do, the work duties that you do, caring for your physical body and your physical world around you, the chores that you do around the house, and all that is the 6th house. Physical health, right? Health and sickness in your physical body. And then the 12th house is like mental and emotional and spiritual health. So all of that is being really brought up to the forefront under this full moon. And you know, Pisces, I would say Pisces and Virgos, two signs that have the hardest times being a human, struggle so much with being a human. Pisces is so connected to our soul, the spiritual part of us as beings. And then the opposite in Virgo in the 6th house is so connected to the physical part of us being a human being that maybe it uses a magnifying glass too much to pay too much attention. And that's how a lot of Virgos in 6th house just become hypochondriacs because they pay so much attention to their physical body and every little move it makes and noise and feeling and they freak out and they get anxiety and think there's something wrong with them all the time. And they can really zone in on that. But then there's the Pisces side, which is so emotional and so sensitive and takes everything as an attack, or can really just be sensitive to everything in this world that just wants to cry about all of it. Have so much empathy, but a little too much at times, and be a little too giving and have no boundaries. I mean, those are the negative ends of the spectrum of both energies and both signs and houses. So if you're off balance in any of those ways, Pisces, this full moon is really bringing some things to the surface with your health overall. Are you taking time out for yourself? That could be a question. But also, are you taking a little too much time? What's up with the exercise? Listen, me as a Pisces, oh my gosh. I tried to start, you guys, I really tried. Especially under Venus retrograde in Leo, which is our 6th house. I tried to bring back, there's these workout videos that I used to watch during a time when Jupiter transiting over me. You know, Jupiter is big and round, and he likes you to be big and round if he transits your sign. So during a previous Jupiter transit in Scorpio, my rising sign made me gain a little weight that was not in favorable places to me. And I wanted to, work on that a little bit and just trim it down just a bit, right? And I used to watch these workout videos and follow the workouts, and they worked so well. So under this Venus retro in my sixth as a Pisces moon, I was like, you know what? Let me try those workout videos again. And I've been falling off so bad with really being on a schedule and a routine with them and been so inconsistent. And Pisces, we can be very inconsistent individuals. We could be so bad with time, with schedules, with routine. So maybe this full moon is telling us, like, hello, listen, it's cool to be floating and, spiritual, hippie, Pisces and everything, but we still need to follow schedules, routines, regimens, workouts, diets. Oh my God, I've been trying also with the diet thing as a Pisces to make it, to better it. And maybe there's just something that's being pushed, in front of our faces, like, hello, you are so off balance with your sleep, which is the 12th house, with your habits and routines and your diet, all that stuff, which is the 6th house. Maybe you're really off. Maybe you're taking too much time to like scurry around and worry about a lot of stuff and not enough for like things like prayer, spiritual time to just kick back. There's something on the axis that's at one extreme or another that you're not really balancing out, Pisces. And this full moon is like, hello, blinking lights. You really need to make sure that you are well rested, well fed, well exercised. I know that's not like a real word or for a term to use for this example, but you're not moving around enough, or I don't know, there's just something with health that is really being brought to our attention. And I really hope that it's nothing too major for my Pisces people to where it's something like upsetting news or anything like that, but maybe it's just like a wake-up call that we're getting to just be on track all together, to just, like I said with Virgo, feeling good all together as a person, as a human. This full moon is making a square to Jupiter, which is in your 3rd house. 3rd house is also a mental house. Mental houses are 3rd and 9th, and also we can consider 12th and 6th to be mental houses too. Maybe you guys are really imbalanced in the mental health zone, as well as the physical, the spiritual, and all that. It's just, oh my God, it's all jacked up for us Pisces people. But maybe we really need to just go within. Venus is retro in our 6th. Find something that we used to do that worked out for us, that maybe we ditched, left behind, fell off from doing or using, that's going to help us to be like completely balanced people, completely healthy people on all ends of the spectrum, in all parts of the major parts of our chart that rules health, okay? That we're balanced there. But I really do want all my Pisces people to just be able to feel good, to be able to have it together, and to be balanced all together as a being. Spiritual, physical, mental. We can do it, Pisces. All right, everybody, that is it. If you listen to this forecast, you're a champ, you're a trooper. Thank you so much for listening to all my chatter. Like I said, I can talk forever and ever and ever about the Leo and Aquarius axis. It's so fascinating to me. But if you would like more from me, you can check me out on my channel under Cosmic Homegirl here on YouTube. I'm also under Cosmic Homegirl on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active. TikTok as well. I post some stuff on there from time to time. But really where it's at for me is my Instagram stories. I drop a lot of gems there and keep everybody entertained as well. Don't forget to check out my Venus retrograde playlist on Spotify. I linked that in my Instagram, and also my website, indigomoonastrology.com. If you would like any type of reading from me as an astrologer and a tarot reader, I look at career. I specialize in career, love, synastry, relationships, and also solar return. Those are the main ones I offer at this time, but other services may be available. You got to check my website to see which ones. So thank you again to Nadiya Shah and her team. You guys are the dopest. Thank you for the invite. 3 full moons in a row. Listen, I am honored. And thank you to Nadiya's audience for accepting me and my weird self. Especially under this Aquarius energy. Let's talk about the weirdness. Yes, your girl is a little strange. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But if you rock with me and you listened and you found some value in my advisements or my little chat here, thank you for listening. I wish you guys all the best, safe and happy and healthy summer and full moon in Aquarius. I'll see you guys again another time. All right, peace.